I'm getting back to my roots at the minute with building online business. And I was absolutely sick of building that way, but I'm quite enjoying it again. Right, is this streaming yet? Yeah, hello everybody. Right, so this is a recording for the Tuesday NLP kind of mindset type call. If you're new to this, I'm putting this one out publicly on YouTube for a change. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about motivation. Aviva, you two, have got any particular questions you'd like me to go over, cover regarding mindset or getting stuff done before I start? Or if not, you'll have questions at the end, which is cool. Or maybe you won't.
No, I've come to the point, thanks to you and Eric and some other guys, where I used to have the mindset, I hope I can do this. That is a blueprint for failure. And now I've changed it to I'm going to do this no matter what.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I was listening to some of the Eric Worre stuff and he's interviewing this guy. And in his first 3 years, he never made more than $500 in a month, I think he said. No, first 3 years, he'd never made more than $200. The second 3 years, he'd never made more than $500, I think it was. And now he's up there like one of the top earners. And Eric Worre was talking about in what changed. And it was, he said, I would listen to people's stories. And that would kind of keep me motivated for another sort of 3 to 6 months every time. He said, but then one day something, I just realized that the people that are all the top earners, they're just people. And they've got this, they're human, they have the same flaws as me. They're nothing special. They just do it. And that's
Yeah.
what made the difference. So I bet if you ask him, right, because I wasn't with him, it wasn't live, I bet, and you couldn't talk, but I bet if you asked him, do you think you're doing anything different now than you did before? I bet the answer would be no. Because I see that so much. It's like I don't feel like I'm doing anything different, but the belief somehow changes what comes out the end of your fingers or whatever. And onto your videos and your screen. And Tommy, you're killing it. And you got that sign up. And you got it's only $25, but it has to be like, you know, applauded. You actually went and got a customer. It makes it easier to get the next one, trust me.
Yeah.
I got some ideas for Jifu. Don't stick with me on Jifu. Um, so and Laura as well. Laura's had a step change. You can see it if you go back and look at Laura's posts. So I'll just say, like, we've got West's 2 in 72 training, and some people don't want to reach out and speak to people that way, like West does, for whatever reason. And then so people like the social media stuff more. Let me just say the social media stuff, doing it that way, it takes longer. Okay. So you're unlikely to get signed up like instantly. I'm up to 41 people on my list at the minute, right? Just working my way through, re-engaging with them, following up and stuff like that. And what will happen is one day I'll just sign up 5 people, and maybe nothing for 3 weeks. That's the way it goes, right? And then
Yeah.
eventually you start getting a steady trickle. But I'll be honest with you, it's easy to go down this route of being really motivated, and you can sign up 25 people in a month from a cold start, but then you kind of get fed up of doing that work because you're on all the time. And sometimes you just need a break from people. So then when I was doing that and supporting the team and answering all the questions and jumping on, I burnt myself out, completely burnt out, because you can do it, but only for so long. So anyway, that's good. So, all right, I said I had a good joke, so I'll tell you this before we carry on then. So I got a friend who's just started a job in a windscreen wiper factory. I asked him how it's going. Does he like it? And he goes,
That's not as good as the Shih Tzu, but it's pretty good.
I heard it the other day, it made me laugh.
I've
I
used the
think
Shih
Laura
Tzu.
gets it. Do you get it, Laura? Just not find that one funny. It's cold as ice. That's class. Anyway, right, so let's get on with today's video then. So, um, I'm testing the 2 hour, 4 hour strategy, by the way. Not worried about lot size at the minute, just win rate. So I just thought I'd show you. Yes, I am still trading. Just I didn't trade for a couple of weeks because I've been busy with Laurie and West, but so far so good. You guys both doing it?
Yeah, that's MT5, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah. But the point is the trades are winning at the minute,
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
anyway. But it's 4 hour
yeah,
candles, so I mean, it's like for me, it's like,
yeah, yeah.
but
I've got two 4 hour trades in right now. I couldn't find anything else this morning.
I know they said they're stopping doing the 2 hour because although it's like profitable, it's only just profitable.
Yeah,
So it's like they're concentrating on the 4 hour because the 4 hour is killing it. So
yeah.
right then, so if you go into the school community and you go to, oh, I'm not sharing it in the, I'll share it after this time. But if you go to the classroom, put it in monthly products, you'll find it there. But I'll put a recording in for today as well. Um, I I tell you what, I'm really, really, really working on at the minute. Really, really trying to get this dialed in. Is this whole 2 in 72 idea? And I don't know if you guys saw the video I did earlier, right? But there's this thing, isn't there? They say, would you rather have like $1 million now or a penny a day doubled 64 days, like for every square on a chessboard, right? And people will say, well, I have a million, right? But I just want to say this is in terms of this works for anything. I've just put this in for Talk Fusion because this is for Laurie and West because we're doing this work for them. But so if you start with a checkerboard, and on the first square, right, that's you. You're a team of one. There's only you, right? So you've paid out, but you've not made any money. But then if you go and get your 2 in 72 or just two, not necessarily in 72, you've got two people. And in terms of Talk Fusion, that's going to work out to a $25 commission. So it's like, right? Um, in terms of cycles alone, just in terms of cycles, not in terms of the fast start commissions you'd make with them, right? In fact, that should be on there, fast start. But assuming you only referred those two people and they refer two people, then you make $50 that cycle, right? So if it's every 72 hours, it's every 72 hours, but it could be every day, it could be every year, every week, whatever. But then 16, you make $200. 128, you make $1,600. But then 3,200, 512 people. There's the next one, $6,400. And then, you start getting crazy numbers. Now, this never works out, and a criticism that people give in network marketing is you end up with more money than exists in the world, and you end up with more people than exist in the world. They can't all be in Jiffy or Talk Fusion or Powerlead System or HBA or whatever company, can they? They can't all be in them, right? But it
Right.
doesn't work that way because what happens is not everybody will do two. Not everybody will refer to. Some people get ill, some people drop out. I've had people unfortunately pass away, that people get shiny objects, they go to some. So it never works out that way. But at the minute, I'm very, very dialed into thinking, how can I get people to just go and get two referrals? In whatever it is, in Jiffy, it needs to be four, right? But if you can get two, you can get 200, trust me. And one of the things that we come across all the time is this whole, well, I call it putting excuses in the way. It sounds negative, but this whole, well, I don't want to talk to my friends and family. Well, I've got a guy today with Talk Fusion. So our left leg is building like crazy, right? Because Laurie and West are putting people in. Me and Eric, we've only building that leg. Our right leg's already got like 128 people in, or even more, even, right? So our right leg's taken care of. It's a binary, this one, like Jiffy. So I'm only building down the left leg. This guy got a position in early, so he's got a lot of people under him already, right? But he hasn't referred anybody himself yet, so he can't unlock the commissions. And I spoke to him, and he's like, "Yeah, but I work 4 hours, sorry, 4 days in a row, long hours. So then I'm tired. Takes me a couple of days. Do you like working there? Oh no, I hate it, right? But he's saying he can't go out and do any marketing, and I'm saying, but your left leg's practically built for you. Well, I know, but I said I've still got to build the other one, haven't I? And I was close to saying to him, just forget it. Just forget it then. It's not for you. You got two seven-figure earners, right, that will get on the phone, that will talk to you, that will talk to your prospects, right? that teach what they do to make the $1 million. We've got AI coaches that have basically taken all their training. We've fed that in. You got all that, and half of your business is already built for you and is being built for you. And you're like giving me excuses. Forget it. I'll give the space to someone else if I could, you know, but this is normal, right? So people join, they're all excited, and then the rubber hits the road and you got to do something. And then some people quit there, and then some people they do it and they quit before they get the success. And there's variables. I can't predict how long it will take, right? But it will definitely happen. I can guarantee if you don't do anything, you get nothing, right? That's the only thing I can guarantee. Whereas if you do keep doing it, eventually, so even if you are the worst marketer in the world, right? If you even if you suck and you're terrible, right? The law of averages says you have to get some sign-ups at some point. So it's just a game of keep improving your skills and doing it. Right. So my whole thing is like, how can I help people get to? So we're looking at paid traffic at the minute, and we've got a meeting tomorrow to that end. That's all I say. That's all you need to know. But we're looking at paid traffic and building some funnels out for network marketing. So that will work for Jifu, work for Talk Fusion, work for anything. All right. So that two ways of dealing with a problem for me: go through it, go around it. Go through it is where you do the work to sort it out. The other way is how can I avoid the problem? Well, if I can do paid traffic, you got another problem because people have to pay for it, and you can't force them to book ads. But at least they don't have to go and do anything on social media or anything like that. So that's going around it, and I'm trying to look at that way. The other way going through it is this way, which is like, okay, so we give posts. We can use AI now to write all your posts for you. So we do that. But what Laurie teaches, how she's made millions, it's millions, not million, millions, is all for free on Facebook just by connecting with people on social media, on Facebook, all Facebook. But people aren't doing it, right? So I put this together this morning with like, okay, so is this going to help? So you guys are going to have to be the ones who are going to let me know, but it's not really fair because you guys are actually doing stuff, and I applaud you for doing it. Okay, but you'll have to let me know what you think. So we often think about motivation is what we'll gain, but there's two forces that drive your life: pain and pleasure. Right? That's how the human brain tends to work. What's going to get me out of pain and discomfort, and what's going to get me into pleasure? So you might think, well, earning $1 million would get me out of a lot of pain. I could live where I want to live. I'd be financially free. I wouldn't have to worry about money. But the pain of doing that is will often put you off because the house and the car and the Lamborghini and all that isn't here yet, is it? So the fear of loss tends to be the main driver for the majority of human beings. Not everyone, but the vast majority of people. So we're like, would you work harder to make $1,000 or harder to stop somebody stealing $1,000 from you? A lot of people would choose, the stats say that people would fight harder to stop somebody stealing $1,000 from them than they would to go out than going out and making it. They're working hard to make it. So this bit here says, okay, well, let's not fight it. Let's go with it. Let's go with the negative. Let's go with the pain and the fear of loss. So 3 questions you can ask yourself. What will it cost me if I stay where I am for another 6 months? Financially, emotionally, mentally, or in relationships. So it's not like, yeah, hey, all you need is 2 people. You can get to the compensation plan, and that's 50K a week. And all you need to do is get 2 people and blah, 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 blah. This is like, okay, well, forget that side of it. But where are you going to be in 6 months from now if you don't make a change? If you stay exactly where you are now, where are you going to be? Shit. What opportunities am I missing by not acting now? Well, I can tell you guys, one of the things that's great is getting to speak with like Laurie and West and Robert. I've spoken to Robert Hollis, and I've been on a call with Ray and Jessica Higdon, and there's good people out there that I know. Mark Harbert. There's some of the connections you make once you get seen and stuff like that are pretty cool. So that's one thing you might want to think about. But what opportunities are you missing out by not acting now just to go out and get 4 people in Jiffy or 2 people in Talk Fusion. You know, how will I feel 1 year from now if nothing changes? Right. So it's trying to get the pain of not doing it greater than the discomfort of maybe putting out a Facebook post or spending $60 on some traffic from Lead Hero or whatever. So then the public commitment, if you've listened to Laurie, I think I sent you it, Tommy, Laurie's training. If not, message me on Facebook and I'll make sure you have it. Right. But she said she was telling everybody she used to work in a steakhouse and she says, I will not be here in a year. Trust me, I will not be here in a year. She would tell everybody. So she made a public statement. So when you do that, what happens is every time she went into work, people, she's got to kind of justify if she hasn't done anything. So it's just a little driver, right? Now, she said that like was over a year, but saying it out loud changes everything. Once you declare your intention, your mind finds ways to make it real. If you tell people, that makes it even more real because none of us like to look foolish, do we? So if you can make it public, you won't look foolish if you do it. Immediate wins, right? This is a good one, right? And I use this with people sometimes. It's like, okay, going out, getting 4 people in Jifu, trading, getting some people into Talk Fusion or approaching some people about a network marketing opportunity or an affiliate marketing opportunity. It's a big deal, right? I want to get to 25K a month, right? I got so close and I missed that. I want to get back to 25K a month, right? Sometimes if I look at that, it's daunting, right? But there will be something I can do today to get me there. Even if it's research, although I wouldn't say research is the best thing to do because it's so easy to get caught up in research, but it is important, to have a plan, right? But there must be something you can do now, 5 minutes or less. Send one message, no matter how scary. Make one post, organize your workspace. So when you come back next time, it's not going to be a distraction. Watch one training video, watch half a training video, watch 5 minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no excuse. Oh, it's a 30-minute long video. I've got 30 minutes now. Well, watch 15 minutes then, watch 5 minutes then. And it's read some of the books I've got. It's like you're on the journey of 1,000,000 miles begins with a single step. If you take that single step, you're kind of saying something to your brain, aren't you? You're on the
Yeah.
journey doing it. Yeah. Doesn't matter how stupid it may seem, but if you're taking at least one step towards where you want to be. So that's big. Right. Identity shift. This is a big one. There's Stephen Andreas and his wife Connie Ray Andreas. I think Connie Ray's still with us, but Steve unfortunately passed away, I think, a couple of years ago. But he did he wrote a great book and he really specialized in this identity shift thing. And it's kind of what I say, I try and simplify it. I'm no good at dancing, but if I took the actions of a world-class ballerina every day and I had one of those poles and I could lift my leg up and and all that.
Yeah, I'd like to see a video of that.
Yeah, well, I'll send you it. I'll send you it 'cause I'll do it. But if you take the actions, right, and you think like somebody who has what you want, right? So if you take the actions and you think like them, there ain't no way, right? You can't improve. There just ain't no way. Now, I might not have any talent. That's a different matter. So I like guitar playing. I play guitar. I'm not brilliant at all. I do it for my own amusement. It can be a stress reliever. It can be a bit of fun. It's like a little challenge when you work out, play a song or something like that. I love it. I normally just do my own things, have a little doodle around, whatever. Okay. But I like listening to, I listen to a bit of Stevie Ray Vaughan. I can't think of his name now. Laura will know. But like Slash from Guns N' Roses. I can see this guy, but I can't think of his name. But so I like listening to guitar players that I would like to sound like. And I see myself and okay, I tell you, this is brilliant. Actually, this is correct. This is spot on. Rolling Stones. Who likes the Rolling Stones? They are not the world's best guitar players, trust me. But they sound amazing, don't they?
Or
And
the
I
world's
learnt it.
handsomest guys.
Sorry?
Or the world's handsomest guys for sure.
Um, Keith Richards, he cuts the bottom string off his guitar. He's only got 5 strings on his guitars, and it's open tuned to G. He cheats, right? But I learnt it from Gene Simmons of Kiss. He was on some program over here in the UK where he took school kids, and he's from Eton, one of the posh schools, I think it was. Anyway, he set them up as a rock band, and he was saying to them, "It's not about being a great musician; it's about the attitude." And he pointed out the Rolling Stones, and I thought about it, and he's spot on. They're not they're not the best musicians. They just play with heart and feel and a confidence. Same with this guy. Same with building a business, because that's what these things are all about ultimately. You just go into it. Who are the person do I want to be? I'm going to act like them now. And that when I say the person, that doesn't mean copying somebody, right? I copied Trump a few years ago, right? There's a guy called Dr. Poulos, Pulos, Greek guy, again passed away, but he had this thing where he had like a CD and you listen to it and it kind of put you into a trance, and then you could take on the characteristics of someone you wanted to be. Now, I didn't particularly like Trump. This was before he was president. But so it wasn't like I wanted to be Trump, but he is a decision maker. He makes fast decisions. And my makeup is I like options. So I don't like to be tied down to one thing. So I'm like, yeah, but on the one hand, yeah, but on the other hand, yeah, but on the one hand, but on the other hand, right? So I like to have my options open. So as soon as I commit, so we're going for it's my birthday this weekend. We're going for a carvery somewhere on the Friday before my birthday, and they do 2 types of meat. So as soon as I say I'll have the beef, I'll regret not having the chicken. As soon as I say the chicken, I regret not having the beef. Do you know what I mean? But Trump is
Yeah.
very decisive. So Trump was one of my sort of role models for being decisive, and it helped. And he's done a great job with the peace deal, hasn't he, with Gaza? Hopefully it will last, right? So he's done a fantastic job there. So I'm the kind of person who, the future me that I admire most always, if I acted like that version of me today, I would. Okay. And then emotional anchoring. Again, we talked about anchoring before, but it's close your eyes, remember a time you took bold action and it works. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. At the peak of that feeling, squeeze your fist or touch your heart. So your body starts to associate that touch, whatever you do, with that feeling. And guess what? When you're doing your marketing, when you're speaking to somebody, I assume everybody wants to join my business. I just assume everybody wants to join. There's a confidence there with that, right? That didn't just happen overnight. I built that up a little bit. Well, I didn't know I was anchoring at the time, but that's what I was doing. Okay. If you can't find motivation, create momentum. Action first, emotion follows. And that's back to that. Just do one thing. Just do one thing. Okay. What action will I take in the next 24 hours that my future self will thank me for? This future self stuff is what's called future pacing, future pacing in NLP. It's all about trying to bring the pleasure forward to today. Right? That's what it's trying to do. And then there's a daily habit tracker if you want to go ahead and do that. So that's all I got for you today. Just, I'm going to give this to everybody to try and help them get their 2 or 4, right? We'll work in blocks of 2, right? Because nobody should have to pay for Jiffy. It just blows my mind that people don't even do anything to try and refer it. It blows my mind. I just don't get it. You don't have to, well, I mean, I'm not saying you can sign up anybody like that, but do you know what I mean? It's like to not even try and get it for free, just incredible. Because that Sniper Pro's unbelievable. Right. Questions, comments, thoughts, better jokes than the one I told.
Here's your question. You know how you guys are, how you showed us.
Hang on, you sound like a Dalek. You know, you got your head in there. Say something again.
Can you hear me okay?
Kind of.
Yeah, I
Okay,
couldn't understand.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. With your way of showing everybody to go into those groups and everything and then just kind of comment and all that stuff, um, that's what I'm doing. And I haven't really um been asking people to look. It's been like a day, it hasn't been very long. Because I want to establish that kind of first, right?
So we're going to talk more about this in half an hour, well, 35 minutes
Okay,
on the marketing call, Laura. So
all right.
here's the idea, right? I work in stages, right? My first stage is I want to go and hang out where my target audience sorry, my target audience are here, right? My target audience, network marketers. What do we know about network marketers?
They want to make money.
Spot on. Have we got a way of them making money with Jifu and Power Lead System, Talk Fusion, Home Business Academy, whatever else you're in? Yes. So we have something that could potentially help them, don't we?
Yeah.
What else do we know about network marketers?
I don't know about it as a group, but as for me, I don't like to talk to people. I like to do other methods. I think you said you're the same way at one
At the
point.
minute, I'm enjoying the build, but I will come to a point where I'll just be like, I don't want to speak to anybody again, and I go through
Yeah.
those phases, right? So, so they don't like to speak to people because nobody really, let's be honest, right? All salespeople, every salesperson I've ever known, I've had some sales jobs. Every salesperson I've ever known wants to be a sales manager and lead a sales team rather than do the sales.
Yeah.
You can love sales. You get to a point though where, yeah, I'd want to be a sales manager now, right? One, you want the promotion, but two, I would rather sort of share my knowledge and teach what I know with other people. Now, the difference is because you've paid the princely sum of $175, $350, $700 to be in Talk Fusion, or you've paid $185 a month to be in Jifu, it ain't the same as a job, is it? Because when I worked at Hillary's Blinds, oh boy, did I have to perform. When I worked at PC World, I had to hit my target. When I worked at Home Power doing electrical goods, I had to. So you got a boss telling you you either get your targets or you sling your hook and go and find another job because you're no good to us unless you're performing. You know, I was told once, listen, it's not about what you bring in, it's about what you cost us by not performing at your best. It's like you might be selling some stuff, Paul, but we could get a better salesperson and he could sell more. So actually, we're losing by having you here, not the other guy. It was like, oh, yeah. And I thought, actually, that makes perfect sense, right? So, so what else do we know about network marketers then? They don't necessarily want to talk to people. They want to make money. What else do we know? What about their success rates?
Or what?
Success rates.
Oh,
Aren't they kind
oh
of
yeah.
low?
They are they are terribly low in the industry.
Yeah.
So Tommy, then, if I was talking to somebody and they didn't necessarily like talking to people, they're not earning the money they want to make trying this network marketing thing, but they still want to make money, what could you offer them?
Well, I've prepared a couple of Chat GPT prepare me a couple of reports to address that with them. Uh, I'm not, I don't, I'm not an expert enough to know if the guides will work, but Chat GTP says they will. So
Okay,
I
so
just,
you've created like guides to give them.
yeah,
So if you're walking down the street and some guy comes along and shoves a leaflet in your hand, what do you do?
I don't pay attention to it unless I've asked him for it.
So that's your whole strategy, is it? To give people guides that
Oh,
ChatGPT will.
only if they ask for one.
Right. But anyway, so you've got guides, that's great. But what could you offer them is what I said. Not in terms of like a guide or whatever. What solution could you give them then if they don't like talking to people, they want to make money, but they're not making the money they want to make? You're on mute,
I don't
Laura.
know,
The
because
blueprint.
that's going to be true in GFU or the 1 minute deal. What if they don't work? They're not going to make any money.
If they trade, how many people do they have to speak to trade?
Well, none really.
If you go in the Discord group in Jifu, in Team Abundance, and the pips section, are people winning trades from that community?
Yes.
Yes.
Are people passing funded accounts in that community using the Sniper Pro?
Yes.
Bingo, now you get it. How many times when I was promoting IM Academy and I ended up on stage and 10K a month, how many times did I hear from my target audience of network marketers, oh, is it a pyramid scheme? Is it a scam?
I can't hear with the flip.
How many times do you think I heard from another network marketer? How many times do you think I heard from them when I was promoting IM like massively and I personally recruited over 500 people. How many times do you think I heard from all of those people, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, it's a scam? How many times do you think I heard that?
I don't think very many if they're already network marketers.
Yeah.
They don't think it's a scam. They're already in one. They can't say to me it's a scam because they're in Herbalife or, you know, or what's the travel one, or whatever company, Amway, you know. So for me, network marketers, a great audience for me. All you have to do
Yeah.
is understand their pain points, and you can go and ask ChatGPT what also are their dreams and desires, and then you match what you've got. So with Jifu, you don't need to sell. Imagine being able to make money without having to sell. Well, how are you doing? Doesn't matter what I do. It matters what as a group of people do. So let me share some stats with you because my results aren't your results. You might be in a different time zone. You get up earlier than me, later than me, you see different trades than me. So there's no point going over like individual results, but luckily I can show you these results for the group.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, not everybody puts their results in. So there's probably a lot better ones out there. And then you can just share with them what's in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
So that's Jifu. Laura, what about Talk Fusion? What have we got? I know you're in both, but what have we got for Talk Fusion for a network marketer?
The 3-step blueprint.
So I don't sell Talk Fusion. I promote Lorien West. I'm so lucky to be working with them. Laurie's got a 3-step blueprint. She made over 6 figures a month doing that, in network
We have
marketing.
you guys too. We have you and Eric too.
Yeah, but Laurie said it best. She says, if I talk about myself, it's braggalicious. Braggalicious. Yeah. But you guys can point, Paul was the 10K a month earner in another business, and he's been on stage and he's been on the cover of a magazine. I can get you on a call with him if you like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying for
So
people like us.
I always like to point rather than pitch. As soon as you start having to sell it, you've gone wrong. Because we're not here to sell. We're here to use the tools. And if you are great at selling it, hats off to you, but I promise you your team never will. It's hard to find people that replicate. And one of the things I've learned over my time, mindset wise, is I need to use the tools and not be the great Paul Turner. Because I like a challenge. It's one of my drivers. I like a challenge, right? So I am the guy that will go and watch trainings and listen to them and analyze them, especially now with ChatGPT. Give me a transcript of this video, tell me the key findings from it. But it's just so easy to go down a rabbit hole. I could have spoken to a few people. You don't need all that stuff really. You can do away with the tech. But how do you convey that to other people? Well, you share the blueprint. I have got, I'm so lucky, right? I'm working with Lorien West. Laurie, she built a business totally from social media. And it's like, oh, would you? So, back to something, I'm not sure what call it was probably last week, but hey, I can get you a copy if you like. Who's going to say no? And who's the person that's helped them? You. And there's a law of reciprocity. You're building that know, like, and trust, right? if I walk into a restaurant and say, "Go buy this shit cryptocurrency coin thing," very few, if anybody's going to ask me what it's about. But Trump, I've got this coin, this crypto coin. Yeah, sells like loads. Why? Because he's got no like and trust with his audience. So they'll go and they'll buy it. He could sell anything because of no like and trust to his audience. Barack Obama, Biden could do the same to their audience. And I'm not trying to sell my stuff to everybody. I'm only trying to help, not sell, to my audience, which are network marketers. That makes sense? Trump doesn't have to be, you don't, Trump, Biden, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, right? If you're a petrol head, you hate Teslas. You know, I've seen posts like, look at this, 1960s Ford Mustang or whatever. What a beauty, and then they put a picture of a Tesla and say, you ain't going to see these shit cars in a museum 100 years from now. If you like tech, like Paul Hutchins from Home Business Academy, he loves his Tesla. He'd marry his Tesla, right? So the point is, people try and be a good salesperson. You don't have to be a good salesperson if you can match what you've got to your audience's pains, frustrations, and overcome them as a solution, or feed their dreams and desires. Does that make sense? So that's like, sounds like a strategy, but it's still mindset, because you have to put your mind in your target audience's mind. And then you have to think, okay, what sort of person am I? Well, I'm a sort of person that helps my target audience, doesn't sell them. And it's the hardest thing when you're in business at the start, especially. I'm not going to sell, I'm not going to sell, I'm not going to sell. As soon as you start, I've got this great thing, right? You should join it. You'd be great at it. You've lost.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. You just have to just keep, I've got it written on a piece of paper, don't sell,
Yeah.
because I keep wanting to do it.
You want to make them want it. I'm learning from
Yeah.
Lorien West. They're fantastic. They teach. She gives a blueprint how she did it. What they're going to ask. How do I get a copy of that? Oh, you want a copy? Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get it for you. That's kind of the thing. This Sniper Pro's on fire. Look at all these results. How do I get it? Oh, you have to be a part of Team Abundance, and you get it all for you get all the support they do for free, but you be in Jiffy to get the scanner. Try it for 7 days. They do my money back 7-day thing. I've got it. That's what I'm trying to work on at the minute. Is I want to do like my own sort of maybe a page or something to explain that 7-day thing, Paul Turner style, because it's like totally risk free, isn't it? If you don't like it, we leave as friends, and if you do, happy days.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that when you get it done.
I think it's the way to go. I think we used to do that in IM Academy years ago. That's one of the things we did. Come on and try it for a week, and it did work really well. And what we did is we set Facebook chat groups up for each batch of people that came in. But it's one of those things again. It was like, I was getting up in the morning to like one day I had 42 messages. It was like, so before I even started my, what I wanted to do that day, I had 42 messages to get through. And it was from prospecting and, looking at team support and everything like that. And I put myself out there, I'll help, no problem, no problem. So what would happen is like, Larry would join and ask me questions. So then eventually I'd help him probably recruit Curly. And then when Curly had a question, he'd ask Larry. And Larry would go, I don't know, but Paul Turner's great, ask him. So then Larry gets Mo. And then Mo would be like, I've got a question, who do I ask? Paul. And that's what happened. It was like network marketing perfection. 2 became 4, became 8, became 16, but all asking me questions. And then it was just like, oh my God, I've got to hide under the table today because I can't keep up with it all. And what would happen was if you ignore people, you're a jerk. If you just give a one-word answer, you're a jerk. But they don't know how big it got, Anyway, different this time around because I'm relying on the team and the structure and the system. So like Michael Martin's group, Team Abundance, we hardly speak now, Tommy, which is a shame in one way, but on the other hand, I know you're well taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, and Jason Hall's
Yeah.
really
I actually don't like that aspect of it, but I understand how many people are at your doorstep.
well. It's just it gets to the point where, and also we got to realize this as well. I'm in England. Like Tommy's always messaging me 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and that's not a complaint. It's just fact. It's just the time. You're
Yeah, I
not getting
forget
me at my
about.
best at 9 o'clock at night. Trust me, especially if I've had a glass of wine. So you might get all sorts of things back. I'm sure you probably had texts that. I mean, I don't get drunk every night, but you know, 3, 4 nights a week I'll have a wine or a whiskey or something, and I don't drink to excess or anything at all. But you know, after you've had a big meal and you sat with the fire on and you're watching telly and you've had a whiskey and then you're like trying to get your head in work mode, it doesn't always work for me anymore. I'm getting old. Anyway, guys, any other questions on this? And I'm going to go and get ready for the marketing call if not.
Nope.
So that is in, you saw where it was. If you go into, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you two now. It's in the school group. If you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, and you're not in my school group, if you message, I'll give you the link. You can join the school group. So if you guys go into your chat, can I drop an attachment in here? I don't think you can you? No, I can't put a. No, I'll send it to you separately. I'll send you that sheet if you want it. Do you want that motivation ignition sheet?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll end this one here then. I'll see you on the one in 20 minutes or something now, is it? And I'm just about to drop you that document to your Facebooks, okay? Facebook Messenger.
Okay. All
See
right.
you soon.
Thank
Thanks.
you,
Bye.
pal. See you in a few minutes.